We have all sorts of forums where we try to address the issues that face journalism. We do have the NUJ, which is a union, and like all unions, its concerns are the concerns of its workers. How do they better the working conditions of the working journalist? We have the Guild of Editors. Some of the members are here, and we know the Guild, like all guilds, is a group of professional, skilled people who again are mostly concerned about the standards, the ethics, things to do to advance the profession. And I think you also know that we have the MPAN, which is the Publishers Association. Now the MPAN is like a trade association. Again, its main concern is to look at the overall, interests of the industry. Because this is no more about journalism, even though it's a constituent aspect of it. It is also about the mechanics of journalism. How do you print in the newspaper? How do you buy a newsprint? How do you do distribution? There are so many things involved. The MPAN is very well positioned to address those issues. And together we have the Nigerian Press Organization. Because at some intersections, you also have all these groups coming together under the MPO in order to see, because the concern of the working journalist is also the concern of the editor or the editors. It is also a concern of the publishers who are the MPM. Now, this particular group, the IPI, the International Press Institute, its main remit is press freedom, which is, if you like, a very abstract, in some way, issue. It's not like what the NUJ will deal with. It's not like what the Guild will deal with. It's not like what the MPN will deal with. But I think that our gathering here indicates the importance of press freedom. And the fact that the IPI has existed all these years, 70 odd years, trying to let us not forget that every society will drive benefit from ensuring that its press is protected to do its work, because that way it will also protect the freedom of all of us. So that is why, even though it is the direct responsibility of journalists, it is them who feel the absence of press freedom. Ultimately, every society is affected by it. And I think I will give you a very recent example that we all know about. We were in Lagos just a few weeks ago when somebody, I think it's Eze Anaba, he's not here, but he's the president of the Guild of Editors. And this was more like an MPAN meeting, which was hosted by the oldest publisher we have in Nigeria, who is Uncle Sam. I was hoping he would be here, because I was told by the organizers from what I saw that we might have his presence here. Again, another inspiration in the profession. Somebody who more or less has seen it all. He has been editor, publisher, and he's still near 90. I think we're going to celebrate his 90th anniversary this year, or next year, 2025. But he's still very active. And he was the one who hosted this meeting. And it was at the meeting that somebody raised the issue. And I think Chief Oshoba was there, a lot of other Nigerians, Nduka was there. And he said, look, we are having this problem of these young people arrested because of the end bad governance protests. Young kids from Kano, other places in the north. And what is happening to them? somebody mentioned a figure, 76 or whatever number. Even though I work here as a journalist, I'm from Kano. Actually, many people see me as somebody who is the protector of northern journalism. But believe you me, it is in Lagos that somebody raised this in a meeting. Say, look, this is something that is embarrassing. Let's look at it. What's happening? And we know that, of course, so I became sensitized about it. When I come, I said to my colleagues, look, I'm not a working journalist now. I said, look, is it the case? I mean, we've all forgotten about it. The protest had happened, and everybody has gone on with his life. But we know vaguely that some people were arrested. We are not sure who were they, what is happening to them, are they going to be brought to court? All those things were not significant national issues. But it was raised there, and I also began to say, okay, to my colleagues, look, is it true? Can we find out what's happening? Then suddenly we know they were brought to court, and there was a big uproar. The government tried to defend, say, look, these guys broke the law, they were this and that. But I think ultimately the right thing was done, and these kids were released. So, to show you that in addition to our own need as journalists or as the industry to help ourselves, to have our unions, to have our guilds, to have our associations that focus on the needs of journalists, of the challenges of the profession, we also carry the banner of freedom for all. And I think that is the noble thing about journalism. It's not just about bread and butter. It is also about values like freedom. Now, it is very often, freedom is actually like health, if you look at it this way. You don't value it unless you lose it. It takes ill health to realize the value of being healthy. That's why a lot of young people carry on like they will live forever. But when they get about my age, they begin to see that, look, they are mortal after all. They are reminded. And I see the same thing with freedom. We think, maybe we don't think it matters. We are busy with our own lives. But when it touches us, we now realize the value of freedom. And I'm so proud that the whole country, and I give this analogy because it's not one of the issues we sectionalize. It's not one of the issues we say, oh, this is North, this is South, or this is Islam, this is Christianity. Like I said, somebody in the South actually raised this issue. And then look at it when it happened. None of us said, oh, no. These kids are from Kano. They are doing. We said, look, these kids are kids. Whatever they did, let's look into their case and let's set them free. I'm not going into the details of the case. I've heard what the Attorney General said, but I think ultimately a political decision was made to do this thing. So for me, journalism, this is the highest purpose. We exist to air what is going on in society, to give people the chance to say their minds, to have a debate on the issues of the day. And while this is not the day-to-day concern of the journalists, I think it's a value which we share with the rest of society. And it's ultimately, I think, what keeps us proud to be journalists. I hope you have a very successful meeting, and that some of these kind of issues will be raised, and we will continue to advance journalism, and may also God help the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together once more for Malam Kabir Yusuf. Thank you very much, setting the tone for discussions later on media freedom the imperative of protecting the Nigerian civic space.